Everyone, hello, welcome, come in. It's Basti here today. Welcome to another lovely Wednesday class. I do hope everyone is well. Feel free to say hello. We've got James, hello from Somerset. Feel free, anyone else, to say hello, where you're from. Simonetta, lovely to see you. And Heike, Helke, and then we've got anyone else. Please do say hello. Please do say where you're from. As usual, we always love to see it. Just to let you know, today we don't have someone on the chat to respond. If you have questions, please do still put them up. I'm going to see if I can find a moment to check in with the chat. But if there's lots of questions, that's absolutely fine. I'll see if I can catch them. You can always repeat them later on if I haven't seen them. But just to let you know, unfortunately, we don't have someone on the chat today, so it's just me. But let's start, as I like to always get us to start, where we just imagine being in a circle, just to start the class. So come away from your keyboard for a moment. Just allow your attention to turn inwards and close your eyes. And just imagine the circle of people that is all of us here in this moment and people watching at a later date. And just be in this group. So we're in this circle, part of the circle, and just having thanks for being in the circle and having this class. Lovely. That's all we want to do, is just set up. Okay, you can bring your eyes open again. So we are, let me get the mouse. Here we go. We are fairly far into our year at the moment. We're going to be breaking in August, but as you can see, we are on July the 10th, and that is the hips, and the point of the week is Gall Bladder 30. I'll drop this list now. But so that's what we're going to be mainly focusing on today. But I'm still going to get us to do a scan, and I'm going to get us to check in with the burners. And then I'm going to get us to do another particular scan with our sort of hips, pelvis, back, that sort of area. And then we'll see what comes up. Okay. So you're welcome to do this sitting down. I prefer standing up. So I'm going to stand up. We're going to go through a scan. And if you've got pen and paper nearby, even better. So starting from the top of the head, bring your attention to the crown of the head. Just noticing what it's like. Scan down through the skull, front, sides, back, through the face, all of your sense organs, jaw muscles, into the throat, the neck, back of the neck. Scan out across the shoulders. How are the shoulders today? The shoulder joints, and then down the arms, just the arms, to the elbows, forearms, more intricate wrists and hands and fingers. You can give them a wiggle or a move, just to kind of, like you're just saying hello to yourself. Hello, how am I? In my arms and my wrists and my hands. Okay, back up to the shoulders. Scanning down through chest, upper back, rib cage, organs, through the torso, into the belly, the lower back, and then that meets the pelvis. How's my pelvis today? How are the hips, sacrum, and then down into the legs, into the thighs, longest part of the body, longest bone in the body, the femur, down to the knees, the biggest joint. How are the knees today? And then carry on down through the calf muscles, lower leg, into the ankles. How are the ankles? Are they both the same, your ankles? And the feet and the toes, maybe give them a wiggle or scrunch them on the floor if you're standing. Okay. And now just broaden your view to the whole of the body. The whole body. How is this whole body today? Anywhere that I'm drawn to? Any quality that is just general? Notice that. Okay. If you have pen and paper, feel free to make a note. If you don't, just make a little mental note. Whoops. I've got pen and paper here, so I'm just going to do a little. So my main thing, as you can see here, is a little bit tight in the shoulders. Not too bad. Not compared to usual. It's not too bad. Belly's a bit full, but I did have breakfast just before coming out. And one of my ankles is a bit tight. So, wonder what you've got going on. You're welcome to say as well in the chat how you're doing. But next, we are going to tune into the 3 burning spaces, and then we're going to tune into the hips specifically. Okay, so first of all, we know the 3 burning spaces. Let's go through them. We've got the lower burner, belly button, down to at least the pubic bone, but you can go all the way down to the pelvic floor. The lower burner encompasses all of the area. So tuning in, bringing your attention in to the lower burner. What's it like in here today? What's it like in your lower burner today? Okay, maybe you get a sense of something, even if you're not quite sure. Let's come up to the middle burner, from the belly button up to the diaphragm, which is, if this is where your ribs meet, it's just above that. Yeah, this sort of space. And tuning into the middle burner, where we've got various digestive qualities, and you've got the liver and gall bladder as well. Then how is it in the middle burner? Interesting. Now, let's just check. If we have a sense, this is the middle burner. Tune into your middle burner again. Now bring another hand down to the lower burner. Bring the other hand away. Tune into the lower burner. This is the lower burner. Lower burner. Middle burner. In yourself, are they exactly the same? Probably not. Mine are very different. Very different. Okay, so now let's just do the upper burner, from the diaphragm up to the bottom of the neck or the collarbone. So upper burner. Okay, interesting. Quite different again. And again, if you've got paper and pen, make a note. But before we do, let's tune into the hips. Okay, so we've checked in with the 3 burners. Now let's bring our attention down to our lower back. So really feel into your lower back. Just allow yourself to settle there for a moment, noticing how it is. And then allow your attention to come down a bit further to the sacrum, the sort of bone at the top of the bum, in the middle there. And from the sacrum, coming around the sides, around the tops of the buttocks, to the actual hip joints. How's that whole area there? You can place your hands on if you wish to. And then notice, how does that feel also into the legs? We can go through it again. Attention to the lower back. How's the lower back today? Come down to the sacrum. Bring your attention around tops of the buttocks. How's that? Hip and the hip joints right in the side here. How's that? And then radiating down into the legs. How's that? Okay. So now I'll run a poll. Let's get this poll up of course, which burner do you want to work on most today? As we always do. Are you preferring, I mean, obviously, I need to work on all of my burners. And I haven't drawn them down. I wanted to just get straight into scanning a bit more. My lower burner felt a bit sort of like this, but with a little bit of a wobbly feeling. Middle burner, very jumpy. I can feel my heartbeat right into my middle burner. And my upper burner has something a little bit flighty with it. So all of them need a little bit of settling. That's me though. You all have a sense of your lower and middle burner equally needing attention. And then the upper burner a little bit. Well, we shall do that. And then, oh, that just changed at the end there. Let me just check on that. Okay, so lower, maybe just a little bit more. It's always good to work on the lower burner. It supports everything else. And then there's one other poll. Do you ever experience issues around the hip? And when we tuned in just now, just let us know. Was it yes in the hip joint? Was it more yes, but from the hip into the lower back? Or was it more hip into the leg? And or possibly even down into the lower leg? Or no, my hips are happy. I used happy because I just thought we're just using a lot of H. Hips are happy. Happy and healthy. So we've got answers across the board, which is always great to see. So there's a couple of you where it's, no, hips fine. Fairly even in terms of just in the hip joint or into the lower leg. But most people having a sense of from the hips to the lower back. Excellent. Okay, well then there's an exercise I'd like us to do at some point, which is going to be great for that especially. So some of the movements today are going to involve us moving around quite a bit and possibly in ways that we don't normally move in this class, but hopefully we'll be able to find a way and take it easy with yourself as always. Okay, so let's get started. Come up to standing. Find yourself in a nice, relaxed, standing posture. Feet sort of hip to shoulder width apart. And facing forwards rather than turned out like this. Facing forwards is better. Knees just slightly soft and relaxed, like you're about to sit down. Okay, and I'm going to get you to just bring weight over one side and then bring your weight over the other side until there's almost no weight. You know, you could kind of take that away if you wanted to. So just going to do this a little bit and just notice the feeling. Like, is your weight in the middle of the foot? Are you tending to lean back towards the heel or more towards the toe? So try and find yourself in the middle. Come over. Are you feeling it more in the ankle, the knee, the hip? You're feeling it more into the body? It's a very simple movement, but really bringing your attention inside to notice shifting and moving. Okay, this side I feel it more around here. This side I feel it more ankle and knee. Okay, we're going to stay on one side, let the foot turn out. We're going to do that thing where we stretch the bottom of the foot. Just stretch the bottom of the foot open. And then most people, it's easier for them to turn away and then you place the big toe on the floor and try and, by tipping forward, you stretch the top of the foot. Some people are happy to do it in front of them. It's not for everyone. We're just feeling a light stretch in the top of the foot. So underside of the foot, top of the foot, underside of the foot. And let's just do some slow circles. Really allow your attention and awareness inside the foot to feel the bones opening and moving and loosening, and the tendons and muscles and fascia all kind of starting to soften and move and make space. You go in the other direction. Okay. Always take care of the feet. Okay. And settle. Notice the difference between the 2 feet. Okay, come across. And then we're going to go this way. So opening out the sole of the foot, exercising the toe joints. If you can, in front of you. If you can't, that's fine. Turn this way and just gently open the top of the foot behind you. Most of the weight is in this leg. Remember, I can just take my foot off the ground if it needs be. But you're just letting the weight of the leg, whether it's that way or this way, you're just letting the weight of the leg stretch the top of the foot. So stretch the underside of the foot and the top of the foot and underside of the foot again. Okay, circles. And again, really allow the mind to encourage the body to open, make space, allow blood and qi to flow. Mind leads the qi, qi leads the blood. And the blood is, as much as anything, the feeling of being embodied and at ease in ourselves. You may have some sort of cracks and clunks and clicks. I certainly do. And then I've had all sorts of funny things with my feet. Okay, a little bit of a shake off. And place it down. Tip your feet. Outside of the feet, inside of the feet. And both a little shake. Okay, notice how they're feeling. And just one more time, this thing of coming over one side, coming over to the other side, and noticing, is it the same now? Is it the same sort of area? So for me, I was feeling it on this side here, and into the knee and ankle on this side. It's not the same anymore, much easier, all the way through the leg. So just by working on one part of us, we can affect more of us. Always great to notice these things. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of a general shake now that we've opened up the lower part a little bit. General bounce and a shake, and loosen up the hands and the wrists, give them a little bit of a shake out. And the arms and the shoulders, you can have a little bounce in the legs if you want. You can generally have a shake in the body, or if there was a part of the body that you needed to move before, like for me, the shoulders, I'm going to loosen my shoulders a little bit. Maybe for you, it was a leg or the ribs, you're needing to just kind of move them about. Whatever it is, take a bit of movement into the part of the body that needs to move. Use the breath. Out breath is releasing, in breath is building and strengthening. So if you're wanting to strengthen an area, like this. If you're wanting to release an area, or like that. Okay. And then make the shaking just general and a bit smaller. And just lighter and lighter. And more internal, until the external body is almost not even moving, but you're feeling maybe an area inside the body somewhere that's still got a little bit of that loosening and shaking going on. Let it become more and more central until you just let go of the idea even of moving. Feel that stillness. Okay. So we're going to start with the lower burner. We'll just do some nice circles on the lower hara, lower belly. Just gently stimulating the energy in the lower burner. So this is from belly button to pubic bone. And try to imagine into the intestines down here, which is, we know that in the West, there's more and more research that's been done over the last 10, 15 years on how the gut has tons of neurons in it. All of the bacteria is working together most of the time, anyway, it's meant to. That in essence, the gut develops before the brain develops. So although some people say the gut is the second brain of the body, in some ways it's the first brain. So this is a really important area of the body to take care of. And just appreciate that sense of a very primal gut intelligence, your gut instinct. And allow that warmth and movement to settle deep into the core of the lower body. Okay. And if you can, bring your backs of your hands to the lower back and do some circles here. If that's not comfortable on your shoulder, carry on with this, or you can make it all the way around the whole of the belly. It's up to you. But if you can do it in the back, I think it helps to bounce the legs, and then the arms don't have to do the whole circles themselves, because the bounce generates part of the movement itself. That's what I'm needing, is a sigh. What are you needing? What feels right for you? What feels like is in that area for you? Okay, and then a little bit of tapping around the area. So gentle tapping, unless you're really feeling like you're needing to shift stuck areas, in which case you can give it more of a hit, but that's not what I'm looking for. Gentle tapping for me, round to the lower back, and the sacrum, the buttocks. There we go. And then last of all, we're going to go down the bladder channel, just right in the back of the leg. So the little toe. And then you hold onto your kidney one a little bit, and we'll come up the inside of the leg. So inside, so I turn my toes out so I can reach the inside of the back of the leg. That's the kidney. Bladder, feet forwards, backs of the legs, turn the toes out. Kidney, inside the back of the legs. One last time. And then let's really get into kidney one to open up the lower burner. Get in the chair, as we normally do. Okay. Hope everything's going well for you all. So it's fairly clear with these socks because they're a little bit dirty on the bottom. Here are the toes. Here's the ball of the foot. Here's the slide down to the heel, and it's 1/3 of the way down, just underneath the ball of the foot. And really get your fingers in. And you can just do it in terms of physical strength, just, really squeezing in. That's fine. But what's really lovely is if you watch my arms, you allow the weight of the arms from the shoulders, all the way from the shoulders, all the way from the back, to just sink. And as you do that, you just kind of draw the fingers in to the foot. It's like that tension you intend it to move through as your arms relax. See? So it's not a strength pulling, it's a relaxing and drawing in. And this just helps to open the point and open into the channel a bit more. Oh, that's lovely. Kidney one's just such a great point. Okay. And maybe just do a bit more of the foot in general. There's all sorts of stuff. You've got some small intestine, heart, and heart protector stuff further down here. You've got a little bit of like lung, large intestine stuff up here. Kidney right in the middle. And then there's all sorts of stuff on top of the foot as well we've done before, like spleen and liver and stomach. All sorts of good stuff. So just give everything a bit of a squiggle and a wiggle and a squeeze. A bit of love. And maybe just give it a tap. A little wake up, a little hello. Okay. Before we go straight to the other foot, and just sort of tune in, notice the difference between the two. Okay. Always useful to just notice how it is. So this one feels obviously much tighter than the other one now. So we've got that thing of squeezing, we've got that thing of holding it tight, or we've got that thing of relax the shoulders, drawing in. And if you find areas which are a bit sore and a bit tender, you don't have to shy away from them. You don't have to press them. You don't have to. But what can be quite nice is if you find the level of discomfort where it's at, and you stay with it for a moment. Don't shy away from the pain and the discomfort, purely because it is painful and uncomfortable. That it's okay. It's okay that it's there. We don't have to make it go away. But it's really helpful for us to know it, to see it, feel it, face it. And we'll find that most of the time it will change in some way, and hopefully within a short moment. Maybe it takes a few goes, but that's all right too. So I found an area of discomfort, which is why I bring it up. And often we have areas of tightness and pain and discomfort in our feet because we're on our feet. All of our weight and gravity goes through our feet. Okay. Wiggle around the whole foot. Bit of a tap. Okay. Lovely. Is that enough? That'll do for now. So we're almost halfway through the session already. And let us now take a couple of breaths. We'll just notice how we're doing. Feet on the floor, about hip to shoulder width apart, facing forwards. Ankles, knees, hips relaxed. We've got that lower burner here that we were working on. And we've got our feet that we've just opened up. So now really allow that kidney one to be relaxed and open. Feet relaxed and open. Connection with the ground. That lovely, stable, grand base of the ground. Okay, and allow that openness and that stability all the way through the legs into the lower burner. Lovely. And even if it's just imagining it, breathing in through the feet, through the legs into the lower burner. It's almost like our legs are going to become our lungs as we breathe in. They're going to fill up, and as we breathe out, we'll breathe back down through the legs. It'll feel like that. That's what we're aiming for. So imagine breathing through the legs. And then relax and breathe out. So breathing in from the ground through the legs to the belly. Lower burner, relaxed, settle, breathe out. Last one. Okay, a little bit of a shake out. And just to check in with the lower burner, how's it feeling now? What's it like in the lower burner now? Okay. Any different from before? For me, it is. It's a little bit more, there's a little bit more energy about it, because before it was a bit heavy, but it had a bit of a kind of a tremulous feeling in it, and the tremulous feeling isn't there anymore. So it's brilliant. Is it different for you? Let us know in the chat. Let each other know. And we're going to now move on to the middle burner. And there's two main qualities. You've got your stomach spleen, and then you've got your liver gallbladder. Stomach spleen is more about getting needs met, nurturing, support, and liver gallbladder is more about movement and flow and flexibility and expression. So we're going to try and go for those two main qualities. And we're going to do it through two different movements of expression. The first one for the stomach and spleen. I want you to spread the feet wider apart. You can have your toes turned out if you want to, but if you do, have the knees in the direction of the toes. So if the toes are pointed outwards, don't have your knees collapsing inwards or flopped out. They're going in the same direction as the toes. Okay, feet are a bit wider than before. I want you to imagine that you're crouching down. It's almost like we're gathering food. So imagine it's like that time of year when there's black breeze, and maybe there's some, if you're someone who picks nettles, you often get the autumn sort of late summer flush of nettle tops that you can pick before it goes to seed. There's all sorts of things that we can forage. Maybe there's some nuts on the nut trees, chestnuts and the like. We've got this wonderful sense of gathering what is going to nurture us. So I want you to just bring that feeling of coming down into the legs a bit, as far as you want to go. Like maybe here is enough. Maybe some of you really want to get down into the legs, but really feel the legs. And then gather what it is that you need in towards you. And if you really want to, you can imagine taking it right into your mouth. Here we go. Oh, I want to get these lovely berries, blackberries, fresh nuts. You know, oh, yum, yum, yum. Yum, 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 yum. Or you can just gather it in towards your belly. Yeah, so the reaching out to envelop what it is. And then you've got the bringing it in to digest it. Reaching out to gather what it is you need, and then bringing it in. Last bit of this. Really feel this sense of gathering what you need and bringing it in to nourish yourself. And then you can bring the legs in a bit. We'll just do some big circles around the digestive system. You're coming up on your right side, down on your left side, following the movement of your intestines, because the stomach governs the quality of your intestinal tract, and the spleen governs the quality of the digestive action within it. Yum, yum, yum. That's what I want to say for some reason. I just want to go yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Okay. I'm just going to tap down the stomach, which is just outside of the center of the front of the leg. Top of the foot, inside of the foot, and up the inner front of the thigh. Last time. There's one more of those. Okay. Nice. So then we're going to go to the liver gallbladder. And this one, we're going to start with an expression which is more like recognizing which way to turn. We're going to do this through a little visualization, but I don't want you to just have it as only a visual image in your mind. I want you to really get into experiencing the feelings that come up with this. Okay, so I want you to imagine you're walking down a path. Maybe it's out in the countryside. Maybe it's in a built-up area. Maybe it's in a woodland or a beach. Who knows? You're on a path. You're walking along. You're heading to where you want to get to, wherever that is. Doesn't matter. That's the feeling you have. Now you come to a fork in the road. One side is the left side, the other side is the right side, and you could go either way. Heading to where it is that you know you want to get to, I want you to just look either way. So we're going to first turn to the left side. So imagine you are now taking those first steps towards the left-hand side to go that route to where it is you want to go. Does that feel right? Does that feel like this is the correct and appropriate way for you to go? Is it light? Is it dark? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it inviting? Is it repelling? So what's that like? Starting to go down on the left side. And then let go of that and come back to the original path. And then we're going to turn to the right-hand side. This is another option in order to be able to get to where you're going. And I want you to start taking a few steps down the right-hand path. How does this feel? Does this feel correct? Does it feel appropriate? Does it feel more inviting? What's the feeling like in yourself? As well as how does the path ahead of you appear? Okay, and let go of that as well, and just come back to the original path. And notice which one felt more appropriate for you. And appreciate the feeling of it. That's what we're doing with that expression. You can let go of that, you can open your eyes. And let's just do a little bit of movement. So we've got this turning. We turned this way, we turned this way. So I'm just going to move away from the wall. So we want you to start literally just feet about shoulder width, knees, hips, soft. You've got these two different directions. I want you to now just do this turn from the hips. Knees relaxed but staying over the feet. Really softening in the fronts of the hips. One side, then the other. Okay, and then allow the arms to relax. And then really just let go in the body a bit more so that you feel it just turning. And notice, are you still pondering whether left side or right side was better? Are you someone who felt like it didn't matter which way you went? We don't have to think about it too hard. It's just noticing, feeling. And as you turn like this, do you notice the feeling of whether one side is easier than the other? Is one side of the body a bit tighter than the other? If you want to make it a bit stronger, come up on one foot, either onto your heel. So you sit back as you turn. That's one way of opening it out. Or come back to the middle again. The other way we can do this is if we come up on the ball of the foot as we're turning the opposite side. And again, if this is too strong for you, make it more like a slow, conscious, deliberate energy movement. The circle that's there can delineate the movement that needs to happen. Okay, and then start to bring it down smaller and smaller. Allow it naturally to come to a close in its own time. Not trying to make it stop. Just let the body say how much movement is in it. As you can see, I've still got some movement going. Just a tiny bit of movement still happening. More and more internal. It's like it doesn't quite want to stop yet. I'm letting it do its own thing. So just do that until it's almost no discernible physical movement. It's all just an internal twisting until finally you can let go of that and settle into stillness again. Okay. A little bit of a shake off. And we're going to do a little bit of tapping down. So we're going to tap down the sides of the body. So gall bladder into the ribs, the liver. And then coming around the hips and the buttocks. We'll come back to this in a minute with our point of the week. Down the outside of the leg, outside of the foot. And then coming up the inside of the leg. Outside from the hips, outside of the leg, inside of the leg. Last time, gallbladder, outside, liver, inside. Whoo, yeah, lovely. We'll just come check in with our middle burner again. What's it like in the middle burner for you today? Now that we've done some movement, is it any different from when we first started? Yeah, so for me, very different. For me, middle burner was really quite intense and a bit kind of stuck and like full. Now it's a lot easier. Still full, but a lot easier. Nice. I'm just going to read a couple of bits on the chat, see how everyone's doing. Jane says, my legs feel more filled out now. I only noticed it by doing that Qi Gong. That's fantastic. And Simonetta, my lower before was quiet, but now is happy. That's fantastic. Let us know if anything is going on with the middle burner. Starting to brighten now, says James. Fantastic. That's lovely to hear. Okay. So let's move on to the upper burner. Just check on time. Okay, about 3/4 of the way through. So just do a quick bit on the upper burner, because there was only a little bit of need for the upper burner, but some people need it. So we're going to always come to this. So we're going to do some imagine some nice big breaths in, breathing in. And then sigh. And you can make this really strong by being more like a morning yawn. And then, more like that. Or you can make it more gentle as you need to just be. Find your level. Find your pace by feeling into what is right for you. Always this is the case. Even if someone says you have to do this exact movement in this exact way, remember that you are yourself. They are not yourself. So always just explore it in the right way for you. So I need a bit of, what do I need? A little bit of that. So let's do a couple more breaths for the lung and the large intestine. Wow. Yawning is great sometimes. Okay, last one. Didn't need it so strongly on that one. There we go. And we'll do that lovely stretch that does the triple heater and the heart protector, where we breathe in like this, like in a dive position. And that's going to stretch that upper back area around the shoulders. So breathing in. And then as we breathe out, open, open, open. And then just point the fingers backwards to allow that extra stretch in the arms. Okay. Just do that another 2 times. Breathing in. And out. Last one. Feel the upper back and shoulders, and then gently, 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 gently. Feel the chest open, and then point the fingers back and feel the arms open. Okay. Ooh. And the last stretch we'll do for the upper burner, I have to clean my glasses, is for the heart, but it's not too stretchy. It's more getting into a feeling. And we've done this one before with me. It's a variation for the heart. I'm going to start with hands in prayer position in front of us, in front of our heart. And I want you to lift the elbows up, but keep the hands at this level. And we're going to bend, but we're going to keep the hands kind of pretty much at that same level. And the elbows raised still. Now, it might not be comfortable for you to bend very far, so just go as far as is right for you. So, for instance, if that's it, for you, that's it. And that's enough. And then you just will come back up, okay? So this is how it goes. Take a nice breath in. Relax, bending from the hips. Hand stays pretty much level with where it was. Elbows are still up, but shoulders relaxed. And it's like a thankfulness and a bit of a sort of bowing in respect. Relaxing the knees to bring the body upright. Okay, I'll do that one more time. So hands in prayer position in front of us. Elbows up, shoulders relaxed. Breathing in, breathing out, bowing from the hips, bowing in respect. It can help to have a sense of what or who you're bowing in respect and thanks to. So maybe there's someone you love. Maybe there's a practice that you have. Maybe there's a being that you have learned from. Maybe there's just a quality that is life or something to do with life. It's up to you. Okay, last one. For me, I'm going to bow to someone I love. Okay. There we go. Just holding that quality in that quiet moment is a special thing for our heart. It allows us to connect to something greater than ourselves. That's very important. So now we're just going to do a quick bit time-wise. God, time's really rushing away. Maybe I'm just being too slow. We're going to do a little bit of tapping down from upper body, coming down some of these outer yang channels, just to clear that. And then we'll get into point of the week. So I don't know whether I'll have time for the exercise I want to show you, but we shall see what we shall see. So let's do a little bit of tapping from the top of the head, around the sides of the head, around the top of the head, to the neck, sides of the head again, sides of the neck, jaw, and then these big, lovely, strong muscles towards the front of the neck called the sternocleidomastoid. Okay, and then we've got along the tops of the shoulders and down the outside of the arm. Just bringing some of that energy downwards. That's sides of the body. You can reach around towards the back, as high as you can reach up at the back, tapping down. Sacrum, backs of the legs, sides of the legs. Okay, so hopefully that's just brought a little bit of energy down and out. But what's really going to help is the point of the week. Here we go. So I'll come and show you the slides. So let's get these up for us all. As you can see, we've got this saying where we're at, which is July the 10th. So we're going to go through, we've had all of these wonderful, wonderful points. So many great points that we've gone over for different reasons. And now we are at gallbladder 30. So just noticing in the chat, James saying it's clearing lots of free fire energy, which is clearing now. So grateful for this class. That's fantastic. Simonetta said that her middle burner before was angry, but now is light. It's really wonderful things. I'm so glad everyone's finding things in this class really helping. Jane says, I love the middle burner twists. For some reason, I prefer the stretch when turning on the ball of the big toe. The one which pivots on the heel makes me notice the tightness in my waist, but doesn't release it so well. There we go. We sometimes need to explore these different things to find where we're at and to find what's right for us. And Carol says the heart center is opened up. Beautiful. So, point of the week, gallbladder 30, Hun Tiao, jumping circle, or also known as, what's it called in this book? Leaping circumflexus. The name refers to its point's position near the hip joint. And it's like its influence on the hip mobility, and leaping or jumping is like, if you're about to jump, you're like this, you're about to jump, it really brings this area out into the prominence, which is where the point is. It's a meeting point of the gallbladder and the bladder channels. It's great for hip joint pain, great for buttocks with tension, because they're the largest muscle in the body, the gluteus maximus. And of course, sciatica. Now, I'm gonna drop this slide and try and show you as best I can a way of finding this. Jane, you've said, do the two twists work different meridians? Maybe that's why one releases better than the other for me. It's not so much that they release different meridians. It can, but there are ways of going into it that can put more definition into different energies. So we can maybe go into that next time I'm here, because we don't have time, unfortunately. But so now, point of the week, I'm going to have to put my hip into view a bit. Okay, so as you can see, here's the top of my trousers. So there's the top of my sacrum is here, and the sacrum ends and becomes the sort of coccyx around about here. At this point in the sacrum, there's like a bony lump. If I come round from here, I will find the head of my hip. So if I come up, I've got my waist, come over a bone, soft tissue, bony lump again. The bony lump is the hip joint. So these are now in line with each other. You see that? So if we go 1/3 of the way around and 2/3 of the way around, we get to the same point. So that's what you're looking at, is from the hip bone, the head of the greater trochanter, to the lumpy bit on your sacrum, the sciatic hiatus, and it's 2/3 of the way around. So 1, 2, and it's all tight and tendon-like. Now, it can be quite difficult. Sometimes you can just put your hand on your hip like this, and then you stick your thumb in, and that can be great. But I'm going to try and show you a way which is a very strong way of getting in touch with this point, but it means lying on your back on the floor. So everyone, if you can, lie on your back. If you can't do this, then try and do this kneeling or sitting on a chair. But if you can do this lying down, then I'm going to show you. So lie down with your knees up like this. Now, find that hip bone again. There it is. You'll find it there. There's like tendon, soft tissue stuff, and then the bone. So then you're going to come towards the floor from the bone and come round. So bring your hands in and you make a fist, and it's going to be with the knuckle of the forefinger. So you come in, make a fist, and you might just want to tip your hips like this and bring your hands in a bit. So your hand is starting to turn inwards a bit. Yeah, so it's like it's turning inwards a bit. And that really gets the knuckle into that point. Ooh, there. And it can be quite tender, so be careful. Now, if this is not doing enough for you, then what you can do is bring your knees up, and that already starts to loosen the lower back, and you can just roll again. And if that doesn't do enough, then when you bring your hands up, bring your legs up, turn your hands in more, and then sink the legs down. That really comes onto the point strongly. So you've got 3 things you can do here. So feet are on the ground, hands come in, you make a fist, rocking the hips, trying to tuck the hands in like that, and then just rocking onto the first knuckle. Is that enough for you? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. If not, bring your knees up and then rock a little bit either side. And really, again, it's tucking the hand right in so that the knuckles are right into that hip. And if that's not enough, you come up a bit more, turn the hand inwards. And this is a bit more uncomfortable, but if you really need a good release, sink down, sink slowly, slowly, slowly. And that's much stronger into that point. Okay. Now, carry on doing that. I'm going to see if I can help those who might not be able to do this. So if you can't do that on the floor, let's get a chair. Yes, if you've got a spiky ball or a tennis ball, use that because it can be a bit uncomfortable on the hands. Yes, so here we go. To do this sitting, I'm trying to find what would be the best way of doing this. So if you're sitting, it might be to lean against something that's got a back, because you've got your sacrum, the hiatus of the sacrum is here, and the head of the greater trochanter is here, so the point is here. So that's where you're aiming to be. It's where my finger is there, you see. So if you can bring your hand down to the seat and then make a fist, you might be able to just turn one way. And you're turning from the hips and leaning against your fist. And likelihood is, if you're finding it difficult to lie down, then this area here is going to be relatively sensitive, and it might be either a little bit weak or it's going to be quite tight. And either way, it's not going to want really strong work. It's going to want more soft work. So bring yourself as close to the back of the chair as you can. Tuck your hands in. Try to make a fist. And then turn your hips. As you do that, really try and sink in with your knuckles. Okay, now, unfortunately, we've come to 1 hour already, so we're going to have to close up the class. I hope you've been able to find some connection with the Gall Bladder 30 point. But trust me, it is fantastic at clearing tension and obstruction that connects from the hips into the joint, or from the hips into the back, or from the hips all the way down into the leg. So explore using it in yourself. Let's just finish off very briefly with the circle again. So just close your eyes. Imagine being in the class as we did at the beginning. Imagine being in this lovely circle of people. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. You make the class what it is. And we all started this because we all knew we needed to. And we all appreciate it so much. So thank you very much, everyone. Welcome to open your eyes again when you want. I'm going to leave a heart as well. And where do I do that? Here we go. There we go. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your day. Catch you next time. And next time I'm here in the class, Jane, I will show you different ways of exploring the energy of the twist. Okay. 1 hour, 1 minute. Cheerio.